Hey everyone, welcome to Tuesday Treadmill Talks. Not on the treadmill, as now usual. Before everyone asks and comments the question of why I'm wearing glasses, I bought my first pair of eyeglasses. These are to keep 50% of the blue I look at on computers out of my eyes because the amount of programming I've been doing the last couple of months really gives me major headaches because after that I have several hours of looking at PowerPoints and taking notes twice a week, and it really hurts my eyes. And I found that these are keeping that down a bit. So fun. They don't. That's the only thing they do. They don't enhance my vision in any way. In fact, it takes away. Everything looks more yellow. Yeah. So I got these on because I was just working on some homework and stuff down here, and I'm like, oh, I need to do a Tuesday treadmill talks for tomorrow. So as you can see, the room is significantly cleaner. Yeah. So let's get into that. Uh, Saturday at work, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. I'll do some homework, but I don't, it's not imperative that I do a whole lot because there wasn't anything due. Well, there was one thing that was due this morning, and basically everything that's due Monday is due at midnight, which pretty much I have all that done now. But I was like, what am I going to do? And then got down to my room, and as you know, I've been complaining for a couple weeks now that my room was just too filthy. And I'm like, fuck it. Let's get down and let's just start cleaning. And I texted Caitlin. She's like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, oh, I'll send you some pics and stuff. So, it's not perfect, but my primary goal to start off with is to get everything off the floor, and if it's not necessary, it gets thrown out. Um, Granted, that hasn't 100% happened yet. There's little things here or there, but I started over there. As you can see, it's not great. Well, it's mainly the chairs have stuff on them, except for, well, this one has a little bit. But the chairs, I've got some of the clutter off of them. Um, but as you can see, certain areas are messed up, like over here. These are all just Star Wars trades from mainly Dark Horse, but there's some Marvel here on top. And currently I'm using a Corsair H100i V2 radiator box as a tripod for my videos. Fun. Even though I think I filmed one thing, I filmed a haul. There's a haul that will come out hopefully this Wednesday, if not next Wednesday. But I have stuff for another haul. But I was just working on stuff like that, and as well, like organizing my movie collection, which is actually it was pretty organized already. I just had a pile of stuff that hadn't been added in. So most of that's added in as well, except for in-betweeners, and I pulled doubles of stuff out. And that was another big thing I worked on was getting my double count down. So we move over here to the messy closet. The closet will be dealt with last. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, if I can be honest with you. The closet, aside from my t-shirts and my pants, and if I reach really far back in there, some flannels and work shirts, a good chunk of that doesn't get touched ever. Most of it doesn't get touched. I have some board games I threw up there that I bought at Gen Con, like Zombies and Here Kitty Kitty. Here Kitty Kitty is in a spot where it's easy to reach. I have like Star Munchkins up there that I just haven't played. Force and Destiny beginner's game. Yeah, I bought that when it came out. Some old board games. That's mainly where my teeny tiny board game collection resides. Also, just boxes of. I magazines, I think. That's magazine overflow. Which means I need to go through my magazines. But over in here is where the real mess begins. I can't believe I'm showing you all this. But, got some guitar cases, some, I don't know what the hell. There's basically, I think, 1 to 2 boxes of stuff that's been here since I moved here 4.5 years ago. 4.5, 5 years ago now, I think, is how long I've lived at this house. That I've just never dealt with. Mainly because there's no place for it. So it's probably going to get rid of. Whether that's going to a good cause or the dump, I'm not sure which. Probably a mix of both. But there's just a lot of things, and not all of it's even mine is the thing. I don't think some of it's other people's stuff that they probably forgot about. That happens a lot. Yeah, there's just a lot of bullshit. Like, there's a sleeping bag in there. I haven't used that sleeping bag in 4 years. It's there, though. I have a sleeping bag. It's probably got a spider living in it. Maybe 2 or 3. Like, I just don't go up there. I don't go in here at all. I just grab my shirts and pants if I need pants, or everything. All my other clothes that I use on a regular basis are in the dresser, and the dresser is pretty well organized at this point. I tend to keep that organized. It's like the one thing that I really keep organized because I can't handle unorganized dressers. I don't know why. I just can't. It's not in my programming. But yeah, the bookshelves and that are getting taken care of first. But the one thing I'm really curious about how I'm going to do it is I want to go for a minimalist desk / entertainment center look. As you can see, this is anything but minimalist. Basically, I like kind of what I've done with the monitor and computer, and that's okay. Not a fan of these Logitech speakers. They're kind of old and not that good. They're not that good for editing. I use them anyway because I don't like having headphones in all the time. I like to preserve my hearing, even though I wear them a lot in the mornings. But when I'm editing, unless I'm editing audio, even then, like, most of my podcasts I edit on speakers. I used to plug in the MacBook to this TV and Bose soundbar, which the Bose soundbar is pretty nice. I'm half tempted to buy another soundbar for my TV and just use this Bose one as my computer speaker, because it uses an optical cable and my motherboard has an optical in on it. I know that's horrible. How dare I do that? Any audiophiles out there know that you get a DAC for it. No, I'm not paying that much money for that. Motherboards aren't that terrible now. Like, unnecessary sound is not as bad as it used to be when it comes to PC building. That's why there isn't a sound card or a DAC. Well, there kind of is a DAC. The Scarlett 2i2, I guess you could call a DAC. I don't quite use it for that. I use it for my microphone, because I don't believe in USB microphones. I think they're crap. I really do. Even you Yeti fans out there, no. No, I'll stick with my Spark LX. I love this thing. A lot of people don't like it. The big draw for most people, though, is the fact that it comes with the shock mount, which it did draw me to it. It's not the greatest microphone out there, but I think it's a solid microphone for what I use it for, which is podcasting, mainly backpedalers, but also I use it on Legends now too. But moving on to the TV, I've thought about upgrading the TV, but I like this TV a lot. When I move into my own place, my goal is to not do something like this monstrosity of computer desk slash entertainment center thing. I don't like it at all. I do it just simply because it's the only way I can really do it here. Because it's the only like major outlet here. Granted, there's some over there around the bed, and there's like one over there, and I think there's one behind the bookshelf. As you recall, when I first moved in, I didn't have my room set up like this. What we did, and I hated that more, was we had this table, which I love this table, but it's not mine. We had it flipped, so one end was there and it kind of bisected the room. And so it was like having two rooms, but it was really irritating. And every, like, back in my drinking days, when I'd come home at night, I'd drunkenly stumble into the table because it's dark in here at night. It's not well lit, as you can tell. Well, it looks horrible right now. Got them ghost lights over there. It's like the fucking rapture's happening. I hate the lighting in here. It's appalling. It makes sense for this room, why it's like this, but I don't like it. It's very, very harsh. It's not too harsh, but it's harsher than I'd like for filming. So what I was thinking is getting a lighting kit and filming in this corner here, turning out this light up here because it's not going to help. Have 3-point lighting right here and film sort of kind of, Geeks Addict kind of does it like this, where he's got a corner he films in. And that way, when I'm doing like book reviews and stuff, I have this shelf, which doesn't get shown off a whole lot. The other shelf, my first shelf, gets a lot of love. Even that little piece of shit over there that I put my video games on gets more love. Yeah, that fucking thing. I've had that for a long time too. It's weird. It's weird what furniture you pick up. Like growing up, and that you end up keeping. Like I have a table. I have a little chess table in there. None of you have ever seen before. It's an antique. It's a really cool table, but it goes in the closet. Maybe. Actually, I don't think so. I don't think it will go under here, under the desk, because it'll probably get damaged under there. Because I kick a lot of the things under there. That's why the really cheap plastic set of drawers that I have down there that keeps most of my cords and stuff are down there. So I can kick it and break it, and it won't be so bad. Although I do have my Line 6 amp under there, but I don't. It's on the side with the TV, if I'm watching TV. Well, typically I don't sit and watch TV, believe it or not. I stand or I pace and watch TV or a movie. I don't. If I'm with someone, like, and Caitlin and I, let's say, lay in bed and watch stuff, which I don't like doing. I don't actually do that, period, unless I'm sick. I think the amount of times by myself that I've watched TV or played video games in bed since I moved in here, I could probably count on one hand. Like, I don't do it. One time I watched the original trilogy, Star Wars trilogy. That was when we first moved in, and I had the stomach flu so bad. Ugh. Those first couple months here were kind of terrible. We moved. I'll talk about this because I don't think I've ever talked about it before in depth. We moved during Thanksgiving break. I was the last to find out that, oh, hey, we're moving. And not only did we move, I had to work that morning, I do believe. Yeah, I worked graveyard, so I got up at 2 in the morning because I got asked the day before, because it was a day I normally didn't work. No, I worked the previous morning, which was a weird day, and rather than go to sleep right afterwards, which is normally what I do on a day that I wasn't prepared to work graveyard shift. Because my first job was like, you get to work at like 3 in the morning and you work till like 8. It was like a 4 or 5 hour shift. And then I went to school afterwards, and then like I crash, but I didn't have school the next day and I didn't work the next day, so I'd sleep it off. Well, in this case, I didn't get to, or a day that I wasn't prepared for, because I always I mentally prepare myself for that, because I mean naturally humans don't wake up that early except for me, and I didn't used to back then. Um, I I didn't get to sleep right after I got off work. Rather, I had to pack, and then we moved the next day, and it was a whole bunch of drama. Well, moving sucks. I'm just going to be the first one to tell you. Moving, if you've been in one spot, and at that house we'd been there for 10 years. That was my childhood house. You have a lot of shit, and you don't have a whole lot of shit packed up. Granted, I had moved my whole comic collection, which at the time was one short box. It was one short box and one of those diamond boxes of comics. That was back before the pile over there happened. Um, which that will be a bitch to move. That's why I sold some of it. Um, I that was moved. All of my books moved. All of my movies moved, which at the time all my movies fit on this. And my video games, I think, had moved too. But nothing else had. And not everything moved when we first moved, when we finally stayed in the house. Well, first of all, this bed we bought for the house because I had a bed nook. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a bed built into the wall that, like, you sit in it. It's sort of like these shelves here, but picture a bed like that. Well, reversed. It would be horizontal. Um, but it's just like it's like a cutout on the wall, and when you lay in it, you have like shelves the foot of your bed, and you have shelves the head of your bed, and you have drawers underneath. It was really cool for organization. I had a lot of things that I could just throw in drawers and not think about again, which is a very bad thing, by the way. Don't do that. Don't just throw things in drawers and it's a and think that's a good thing. That's not a good thing. That's why we have a closet like this, because I do that shit a lot. But it was a whole mess of stuff, and most of it didn't move. Well, the things on the shelves got thrown in boxes and got dragged here and unloaded on the floor. Like, there was a time when I just had 20 boxes because I didn't feel like unloading. But we got stuff. Basically, at that time, the bed was already here. I moved that in that same day and that in same day. That was pretty much it for down here. Then the day after, my grandmother gave us this table and these 4 chairs. Oh, that was another thing. This desk chair didn't come right away. The backache chair, as I like to call it. It's the chair from hell. I hate sitting in it for any length of time. That's why I don't video game so much anymore. It's that chair. The chair always stays empty. Except for the cats like to sleep in it occasionally. Or they like to sleep on me while I sit in it and do like homework and stuff. But I hate that chair. But it's the only one that's like the right length. All these other, for typing, all these other chairs are just slightly too short for me, and it's uncomfortable to type. But yeah, over time I've picked up other furniture. But yeah. God, I had a point. I had a point to this. But oh yeah, what I want to do here with this is keep that TV. Maybe for the time being, I'm going to keep this TV stand. I'm moving it. I'll move it center. We're going to take all of this stuff, which is initially why I bought it, out. I'll throw the PS4 in there, and I have a friend who might get me. I think he's gonna give me his 4K Blu-ray player because he doesn't use it. And I'm gonna get another TV, a bigger TV, put it on that, and then have the Dynex TV because I'm not going to do a 2 monitor setup like I was planning to do a while ago because there's not enough space. I'm gonna put the Dynex TV back down, and that will be like my classic gaming thing rig. I'll probably have the PS2 on there primarily, or the Wii. One of those two that I play more than the others. The Super Nintendo will not be on there, for instance. The Super Nintendo's controllers are the most finicky of all my classic gaming consoles. PS2s are pretty bad too now. I think there's my sister's controller is the only one that works on a regular basis. My second controller doesn't work. Actually, I think it's pretty much given up the ghost. It's gone. So I'm back to one PS2 controller, which is annoying. Um, but the big TV will probably have the PS4 on it. It'll either be on that stand or mounted to the wall, and we'll take the Lord of the Rings poster down and just retire that for a little while until I move. So yeah. That's pretty much it. This is a 21-minute Tuesday Treadmill Talks. With, at the very end, the sweet baby herself, Lacey. Come here. Come say hello. She's a pretty kitty. Anyway, have a nice day.